Hi, everybody. I'm Sam,
And I'm Tech.
and welcome to the Sam and Tay's Fantasy Football League. We're going to do something a little different this time. I'm not going to do any of that special intro, where it says, expert advice, because Tay and I we don't seem to be experts anymore. Um, Tay has a losing record. I have a losing record.
Hey! But
I,
think about it, Sam. Like I'm actually 1-2. I'm actually in the seventh spot, which the top 8 teams make the playoffs. So think about it. You're 0-3. That means you're only one game back of a playoff spot. Think about that.
no, wait. No. It's not top 8. It's top 6.
It is
isn't
top
it?
8. It's top 8.
Top 8 makes the playoffs? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So think about that. So you're only one game back of a playoff spot.
That's right. And it's a long season too. So
it is a long season.
So yeah. And look at Scott. He jumped up to first place in our league there. Man,
Yeah, the points, man. He's maintaining his points each week. So
He's
doing well.
He just frog top over Sin, because I think Sin was first last week, and now Scott is. So congrats to him. Scott claims that I'm a racist and I don't want to cheer for the white man to get first place in our league. I said, nah, man, that's not the case, man. Shoot, I don't care about that.
He called you a racist.
He thinks I'm a racist. I'm always cheering for the Asians. He says, and I'm not giving him any respect. That's what he said, because he's white. That's what he says, Yeah, he plays the victim, But anyways. Just to let the record straight, Scott. Look, there you go. Congratulations, first place, most scores. Oh, wait, you don't have the most score. Don has the most scores.
Yeah, Don does.
Oh, wow, okay. But anyways, Scott, congrats. You lucked out. Brandon Marshall didn't do jack squat, or else you would have lost.
Now that was a racist comment. That was racist there.
But all right, cool. And I'm dead last. 0-3, 254 total points, which is at the bottom. 254 total points. Yeah, at the bottom. It's horrible.
Yeah, you gotta make some moves this week too.
I have to.
The bye week starts.
Bye week starts, everybody. So make sure you check who's on bye on your team. I don't want to see any inactive players here. Come on now, stay active. If I'm 0-3 with the lowest point total and I'm making moves, you guys better make moves too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of lowest, man, I think Chris there actually. Jeff. Jeff actually beat your lowest score.
Oh man, and we'll talk about that during his matchup. But man, 54 points this week, Jeff, and of course.
And that's seriously, I thought 58 couldn't be beat, but I guess,
last week
he would have tried hard on that one.
Last week I had 58. So man, Jeff, you better get on that. I will trade you Peterson for Crawl, the running back from Cleveland, Crawl. We'll talk about Jeff's puny score later on. But let's go over to the first matchup here. Me against Boomer Wang, and I put up a fight towards the end there. It came down to
Monday
night.
One.
Yeah.
I think you were texting me. You were saying that you needed Olsen to score one more touchdown.
Yeah,
you had it.
I would have had it. Olsen score one more touchdown, or playing Monday morning quarterback here. If I would have switched up my lineup, maybe put in Denver's defense, which 7 points.
Why would you sit their defense? I mean, I would have played their defense. Anyway.
I was scared, Seattle, and I thought Philly had a better one against Washington and their second string quarterback. That was my theory.
I would have just left them in there. I mean, to me, you draft Denver the way you draft them. I would have just played them out. I mean, that's the way that's me. Because it's hard, especially in this league. I mean, it's just to me, I'm like, you got to just play out who you draft, because you can't really have a second defense almost, or a second kicker. So you just have to play them. I mean, at that point.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And of course, Denver's on bye this week, so I don't know. We'll see what's up with that. But Matt Ryan blew up for Wang again. Is Matty Ice back? I asked that first week. We said yeah. Second week we said no. Third week we say yeah.
Yeah, again, I guess. I mean, he only played 3 quarters that game too. He threw 3 touchdowns, and I mean, they had to yank him because they were up by like 1,000 points almost. That game was ridiculous. Their defense was. Who had Atlanta defense? Anybody have Atlanta defense? That would have been a killer there.
Atlanta's good at home, I guess. And then plus Tampa Bay just sucks. you know.
Yeah,
Tampa's
that's probably
been horrible.
that's more or less Tampa Bay just suck.
Yeah, but well, you know, congrats to Wang. He beat me. You know, Wang texted me before the Monday night game. You know about telling how sorry he was for me to lose to him. I'm like, yeah, I know my team sucks. And then when Greg Olson scored that touchdown, I was like, oh, Wang, you texted too early, and I was planning. I was like, man, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this text message and post it up. You know, too early, son, too early. You know, like I would post it up on a, you know, and said you shouldn't have said this, but whatever. You know, it worked out for Wang. You know, it'd have been good if I would have won. You know, I would have had that screenshot, but whatever. You know.
Yeah, to think if you would have played Denver's defense, you would have actually won by like .08. Man, that would have been killer. That would have been kind of funny if you did that.
But then I would have had to hold my breath till Thursday because Yahoo switches it up, you know. But,
yeah, that's true.
All right, let's go to the next matchup. It's Kevin versus Jim. Wow, Kevin, this is a poor performance from Kevin. 82 points to Jim's 107. Man,
yeah, that was.
What happened? Cutler didn't do as well. Oh my God, Kirk Cousins. Jim picked up Kirk Cousins and then started him.
I would have played him too, right? I mean,
over Roethlisberger. Yeah, no, I mean.
I think Cousins actually. You know what? I like Cousins in that system. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be a top 10, top 12 quarterback in that system because I think Jay Gruden. I mean, look at Andy Dalton. I mean, he did well with Andy Dalton, and I think he's a lot better than RG3 fits in that system. So I think Gruden was trying to change G3 and make him like Andy Dalton, but I think Cousins fits more of that mold. So.
Yeah. And I feel bad. Who had RG3? Oh, it was Darky. I think Darky had RG3. Yeah, and dropped him. You know,
well, guess who his backup is.
Who's his backup?
We'll talk about his when he comes.
Oh.
It's gonna be kind of funny to look at his backup.
I was gonna say that's kind of messed up when you steal somebody's handcuff. You know, like we should make some rule. You know what? We should make some rule. Nobody steals a handcuff of a starter. We should make that rule, man. I don't want somebody stealing Arian Foster's handcuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We should. If you draft that person, you get dibs on everybody behind them.
Yeah. I think that's the most respectful way of doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, and Jim had Roddy White in the lineup and got 0 points too. So, man, Jim showed some mercy there.
Yeah. I know. He put up a goose egg, but he still ended up winning that one.
Yeah, he should put in Wells Walker for a total of 9 points for that. But yeah, that's good. No.
He didn't need him. He didn't even need him.
Yeah. Dang, Kevin, you might have to make some moves, man. No.
Yeah,
Kevin has
and look at the bright side though, Kevin. I mean, Kevin still has Josh Gordon on his bench. I mean.
Hey, waiting for that week 11. You know what I mean?
He's good waiting for that week where you can finally unleash him. It's gonna be like he's gonna be out of the playoff spot by the time he tries to unleash him, right?
Yeah.
Kevin, you're gonna be like 1-10, and you're gonna be unleashing Josh Gordon at that point.
Yep, and Danny Woodhead just dropped Danny Woodhead already. Kevin, you know.
Oh yeah, he's out for the season too, right?
Yeah, but Jim, that's his first win. So congrats on that, Jim. Hopefully, I can feel what it is like to have a first win here soon. You know, it could come this week against my brother. You know, so.
Oh man, brotherly love.
Yeah, the tie-up.
Maybe he'll let you have one.
The tie-up. We'll see. I mean, you see his score. I mean, we'll talk about his matchup here pretty soon too. But yeah. All right, let's go to. So that was Jim. Let's go to Jeff and Danny. Wow. And we spoke about Jeff's 54 points earlier. How it has to be the lowest point total of the 4 or 5 years that we played fantasy, I think. It has to be.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be. I mean,
yeah, if it's lower than mine from last week, it has to be.
That's sad. I mean, I don't think he had anybody that even did well. I mean, his best player was Steve Smith from Baltimore. I mean, that's pretty sad. I mean, and he didn't have a touchdown. So.
Yeah. I mean, Steve Smith is putting up the numbers for his owners. Steve Smith's owners, you know. So Steve Smith is doing well, but yeah, wow. What are your suggestions for Jeff about his depleted running backs here?
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, at this point, he's got. I mean, I know he's trying to. I saw his post. He was trying to make a trade and try to get someone to actually trade for him, but it's hard to accept anything because he's got all his players are hurt. I mean, it's hard to trade for a hurt player. I mean, there's potential there, but I mean, if they're out for 3-4 weeks, I mean, I wouldn't want a piece of that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a 14-team league, and you're trying to, secure. I mean, not saying you're trying to secure a playoff spot this early, but I mean, you're still looking at that point where it comes into the bye weeks, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and this isn't like our old ESPN fantasy league where we had like 10 benches. You know what I mean? So he can't hoard those players. You know?
Yeah, he can't hoard them.
He can't hoard them like what he was doing in ESPN. But
and I don't even know what he can do. I mean, at this point, he's got, he's really just going to get hurt. I mean, as far as he's. Yeah, he doesn't have running back depth anymore.
He's going to have to drop Ryan Matthews. He's just going to have to.
He might. I mean, he's got to. I mean, who would you rather drop, right, at this point, Peterson or Matthews? I mean, you're going to have to drop Matthews, right?
Yeah, you can't drop Peterson just yet. You have to find out, what's going to happen to him,
I mean, I guess next week he's okay. He's probably going to play his Bill Rogers combo again. I mean, gave him 8 points last week total. So, I mean, guess he can do that combo again, see where he gets. But I don't know. I mean, at this point, he's just hurting at running back. So, I mean,
and
we'll see what he can kind of do. And I was surprised Sammy Watkins got shut down by San Diego. Sammy Watkins did so well week 2, and he came around this time, and San Diego won that game in Buffalo. That's pretty surprising. So.
Yeah. And Denny has a good team too. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what the heck's happened to him. I have him in my other league. Rodgers needs to get better. And then Pierre Garçon blows up. Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson they can put up some big numbers with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think they will. I mean, at this point they will, because I think Cousins, like I said, he throws a lot better. He throws a lot better than RG3 in that system. Just in that system. I mean, I think he's a perfect fit for that. So I mean, a lot of big numbers coming, I think, with all 3 of them. So.
Yep. Niall Davis is doing well too. It looks like the Chiefs are always having good running backs when their starters die out. Larry Johnson took over for who's that running back? From Baltimore. Remember him? He came from Baltimore to go.
Yeah, Priest Holmes. Is it Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes, and then it was somebody else. It was the guy from Cleveland Browns, right? He went to the Chiefs.
That played for, I don't remember his name. That played now.
But anyways, he was a good running back. He took over Priest Holmes, and then Larry Johnson took over for that guy. And it seems like their backup is always, doing, is a good successor to the starter. You know what I mean?
Well, and it may just be a 1-week wonder, though, because it looks like Charles is going to be back in the mix.
I hope not, but I mean, you can't say he's a 1-week wonder because every time he started, he played well. Going back to last year. Going back to last year.
I agree, but at this point, I mean, Charles is your guy, so I mean, at this point, like I said, Charles is going to be back in there. And he almost suited up for that game. He actually wanted to suit up, but the coach wouldn't let him. So I think Charles is going to be back. I mean, they play Monday night. It's kind of hard to hold off and see how he's going to do and if he's going to play. But I have a feeling if Charles suits up, it's going to be all Charles. Like they won't do a committee. They won't. I think now it's just the backup. Period. So I think whoever's in there, they just feed them the rock, whoever it is. So and this teaches Andy Reid. I mean, he realized now he gave Davis the ball. All he really had to do with Charles, same thing, just give him the rock. Because I mean, honestly, he wasn't doing that with Charles the first couple weeks. So now at least he learned a lesson, saying he's got to go back to the running game and do what basically what he's got to do is just run the ball, and that's what he did with Davis, and that's what, and Charles gives you the same dimension as far as running the ball. He just got to give him the ball.
Yep. And look, he has Fred Jackson on the bench for 21 points too.
I know. I mean, where would you plug him in? I guess Fitzgerald, but it's kind of hard to sit Fitzgerald at this point. I guess you can sit him now because he's not been. He hasn't been anything this season yet.
Or last season.
That's true. Or last season.
What happened to Carson Palmer? Did he get injured or something, or is he benched?
He did. I think it's like his arm, shoulder, something like that. He is injured, and I don't know how long he's out for. But I think it hurts their receivers. I mean, luckily their defense actually, surprisingly, their defense actually is playing well this year. I mean, people were like talking a lot about their defense, saying that they, because they, how their preseason they were sitting so many players and so many were injured and this and that. But their defense has played well.
Yeah. Arizona's doing well. Cool. But yeah, Danny. It looks like Danny won his first game too this year. So I'm sad every time I say that because I haven't won a game yet. Looks like Danny won his first game.
That.
Yeah.
I think everybody almost won their first game this week.
I think me and Chris is the only one. I think that haven't won a game yet. So
yeah, you two are the only ones left.
All right, let's go to your favorite matchup. You against Sin.
Oh man, you know what? It came down to Lynch, and I figured Lynch was gonna. I mean, I was hoping Denver would show up a little bit more and stop Lynch a little bit, but I was up, I was winning, and then Lynch 26 points. Kind of was the difference basically because the one touchdown was it. I was they had him bottled up for a little bit, and then the one touchdown did it, and then 2 touchdowns was just basically rubbing it in. So
yeah. Sin's total weekly score has been dropping, man. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. Maybe
It might be. I mean, at this point too. I mean, he doesn't have much of a bench. I mean, Marino's hurt. He's got Hillman on his bench. And I guess he's got Boulding and Jennings, but he doesn't have much of a bench. With his running backs and everything. So, I mean, it could be a sign. I mean, at this point, and Stafford just looks horrible. He looked horrible, I guess, against Green Bay.
That was at home. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was especially at home too. You would hope Stafford would do better than that at home.
I know. I mean, 16 points below his projection. That's crazy, and they didn't even get to touch it. So. I thought I had it when I was, Foles was blowing up and Stafford wasn't doing well, and then I knew he had Lynch left though, and it kind of hurt me because Lacy didn't do anything. And I kind of wish, I was actually debating between McFadden and Benjamin, and I kind of hurt that I, watched that game last night, and I'm like, oh man, if I had Benjamin plugged in there, I would have actually won that one. But that's money on quarterback again.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, Sin's on a roll, 3-0 now. 3-0, second place in our league. So congrats, Sin. Hopefully we jinx you.
Yeah, I know. And I tell you what, as much as we've made fun of him with the 6 running backs that he drafted, he probably has the best 1-2 combo right now with Lynch and Bernard. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's the best combo right now in the league, I think. And he can drop the other 4. I mean, he doesn't need 6 running backs. I guess he only has 5 now, but
yeah.
He did well.
I want to say Lynch is also doing so well because Russell Wilson is doing so well too. I never thought he would be passing this much and this well. He's a very good passer this year compared to because Russell Wilson was not a good fantasy quarterback. You know what I mean? The last 2 years now, and now he's putting up numbers. So.
He is. A lot more efficient and everything.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, who would have thought that? But congrats, Sin. 3-0. So, all right, let's go on to the next match. Chris versus Don. Now, Chris put up some numbers this week. 113 points. Wasn't
bad. I mean, he tried. He was trying to
wasn't enough.
take Don down, but just couldn't do it. I mean, I feel for him now. I mean, he put up 113. I mean, that's better than Jeff did.
113, and he would have beat Sin. It's better than Jeff did too. But Deshaun Jackson blew up. Was this Deshaun Jackson's first game in week 3? Did he play in week 1 and 2?
No, he played week 1, but then he got hurt at week 2.
Okay.
Like a half.
Okay,
like the first half.
I had a feeling he would do good because of the revenge game. You know what I mean? It's a revenge game against Philly.
I know, that happens a lot, doesn't it? Don't you think that revenge game, it seems like it happens a lot.
Yeah. Plus, you know what? Honestly, let's think about it. Kirk Cousins. That's why, too. I mean, if it was RG3, I don't think I don't think that would have happened,
Yeah.
And I'm saying...
hoping that revenge... with that revenge game for me, I actually have Decker. Decker plays Denver. So I'm holding on to him just because of that revenge.
Yeah, that's a different scenario over there, But, what do you think? They have a quarterback controversy in Washington there?
I mean, I don't see it. If Cousins does well, I don't see why they would give RG3 back the reins at this point. I think even if Cousins doesn't win, if he's putting up numbers, I mean, you can't. You know, basically right now it's their defense. I mean, he put up enough points in that game, and if you're not winning that game, that's not Cousins' fault. That's totally your defense at that point.
Yeah. I mean, to put up 34 points and lose, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he keeps putting up 3 touchdowns and 1 interception every game and throws for 400 yards, I mean, how do you pick anybody else but him? I mean, that would be totally, I mean, you'd have Redskins fans, I mean, I don't know, rioting the stadium, I would think. I mean, that just makes no sense if they put RG3 back in the starting game.
Yep. And look at Don.
But I mean, wasn't the coach saying that there's no controversy, RG3's going to have his job back once he's healthy?
I don't know. I want to say you shouldn't lose your job to an injury, but, you know, that's what happened with Kaepernick, you know.
Yeah.
Some coaches have a stand on that, you know, where, like, a starter can't lose their starting job to injury, you know, because I've heard coaches tell that flat out, you know, but, you know, it just depends on the coach, you know. But, yeah, look at Don, man. Russell Wilson, Julio Jones. Geez.
Well, Julio Jones gave him that lead at Thursday night already. I mean, that was a big hole Thursday night, and I'm pretty sure Chris was like, oh, my gosh, Julio almost put up 40 points. I got to make up 40 points.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep, and then Macklin, of course, you know, with Philly there.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, he put up a lot of points this week. I mean, that was the highest this week, wasn't it? I think Don's was the highest this week.
Oh, this week, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, he definitely blew up this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
all right, so you know, Chris and I are the only 0-3 teams, right? I think Chris and I are the only 0-2 teams. So 0-3 teams. So.
Yeah, you gotta remember, 1 game back from the playoff spot. One game back.
Well, I don't want to be 3 games back next. You know, we could be potentially 3 games, and you know, the following week. You know.
True, you're only 3 games back from first place. You're right.
Too, but yeah. Well, I mean, Don's team look dangerous too now. You know. So, all right, let's go to Scott and Ving here, and man, Scott is of course at the top of our league here, first place.
Yeah, it was a close game. That was actually pretty close, and you know, you got to give it to Ving because he actually, almost went 3-0. I mean, and considering how much shit talking we did, I figured he would have went 3-0 just because we shit talked his team so much. But
auto drafts, he had the auto draft. Brandon Marshall. I mean, if Brandon Marshall would have stepped out, hey, remember Brandon Marshall caught a touchdown that was called back. So I'm sure Scott was sweating bullets then. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he was.
Yeah. Brandon Marshall.
You know what? We hurt him again this week. With Ving, last week it didn't hurt him because RG3 got hurt, but Locker got hurt actually, and Locker actually stunk it up that game too. But Locker's hurt, so he might not even suit up for the next game. So I feel bad for Ving now. He actually has quarterbacks just going down all the time.
Well, I mean,
so, he might as well not even play a quarterback each week because apparently his quarterback don't help him very much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, his 2 quarterbacks are Locker and RG3.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think he's got to make a move. I can't keep Locker because you don't know if Locker's even going to play this week.
Yeah. Do you keep RG3? Oh, I think he already dropped him.
I think he did already cut him, yeah. I mean, I would cut him. I think he probably just saw what Cousins did and was like, dude, I'm not keeping RG3.
Yeah, he did. He did drop him. Look, Kevin already dropped Danny Woodhead just when we were talking about him, too. So.
I know.
But, it was a close matchup. You know, Scott's all proud of that. You know, congrats, Scott. You know, first place in our league.
Andrew Luck, I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
Andrew Luck is, I believe, the best fantasy quarterback so far in the season.
He is right now. I mean, he's putting up the numbers and a lot of touchdowns. I mean, he has 4 touchdown passes. I mean, I kind of questioned it because I was like, wow, I mean, they had him in the game when they were up, and they still threw a 4th touchdown pass. I think they were up by like 30 points already.
Yeah.
And Luck was still in the game.
Yeah,
but
well, you know.
Jacksonville didn't score their 17 until like the very end of the game. So I think at that point they were up like 37-0. I mean, it was like a killing, and they still had Luck in throwing a touchdown pass.
Because Luck cares about his fantasy owners, you know. unlike Manning, you know. Unlike Manning, you know.
He cares about Super Bowl rings.
You know, but Emmanuel Sanders. Who'd have thought? Even with what's his name back. Welker, you know, Emmanuel Sanders still blew up for Scott too.
He did. I mean, it's funny because Sanders hasn't actually blew up until now, until Welker got back, right? Because, I mean, this is the best game Sanders had so far this season. It's because Welker was there. I mean,
yeah, best so far. I mean, he's put up double digits numbers. 11 the first week, 16 the second week, and now 22. So yeah, that was a good draft there by him. But yeah. Dang, that's a close match. Sucks to lose that close, but yeah, congrats, Scott. I'm not a racist, so good going, Scott. Congrats, But all right, let's go to our last matchup. My brother versus Terry. So, and of course, I play my brother next week, so we'll have to see how it goes. And my brother put up only 82 points this week. Psh, and he better do better than that next week. Wow, he sat Cruz.
Well, I know. I mean, what's funny is I sat Cruz in like the 2 or 3 leagues that I had him in my league too, because I was just fed up with Eli Manning.
Yeah.
And of course he blows up that game, so it kind of hurt him. I mean, and then of course he's got Tom Brady, who I don't even know if Tom Brady is the same Tom Brady anymore. Like watching him play, I don't think I don't know. He's just not really that good anymore. The way he used to, where he would throw 3-4 touchdown passes and be so well, but it's not the same New England offense.
But last year Brady was good and he was hitting his targets, but his receivers weren't catching it. Can you blame it on the receivers this year?
He has all his receivers, but I mean, I guess he's not. And the thing is, he's not even really throwing to his receivers. He's throwing to like his running back, his tight end. So they're catching the ball. I mean, they're there. It's just, I think watching him play, it's not the same Tom Brady. I mean, I think he's just regressing as far as quarterback wise. His numbers aren't going to be as good as what they used to be.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because I think they gave away Mallett, who I thought Mallett was going to be kind of their future. I think that was the whole thing with Brady kind of training him, but I guess not. I guess I don't know who their other backup is, but
we don't know. Nobody knows. But,
nobody knows who the backup is.
So Le'Veon Bell's just blowing up, man.
Oh man, he looks. You know what? He looks good. Have you seen him play? I mean, he looks trimmed down, and he looks just the moves that he's making. I mean, he looks like almost like the top running back this year, just based on his shiftiness and the way just watching him play. I mean, and he's so patient when he runs the ball. I mean, he stays behind his block, and then he bursts like when he needs to. I mean, he's running really well. I give it to him. I think he's going to be the way if he keeps playing like this, he'll be easily like a top 5 running back this year.
Yeah.
Just based on
that.
Yeah,
better use him up because he'll get suspended next year probably, right?
He can do it now.
4 games or 2 games, you know. But you better put up more than 82 points next week. I guarantee you that. But that was a good week for everybody, But Chris and I guess, bottom of the barrel here. Chris and I
still winless.
Winless. Hopefully we can get a win next week. Let's see who Chris plays next week. Sin. Oh, okay.
I hope he wins. I mean,
it'd be nice, Chris. Last place to beat Sin in second place. Yeah.
Well, and Sin's kind of in trouble because he's got his top 2 running backs on bye. I mean, he's got Lynch and Bernard. They're both on bye. So Chris has a chance. I think really he has, because that's basically the 2 players that have been carrying Sin as his running back. So this is Chris's chance to actually take that spot and take that win because he's bye weeks. That's what's going to hurt us, a lot of us. So.
Yep, and Scott versus Terry. Both 3-0 teams going up against each other. I'm not a racist, but I hope Scott loses. That's not trying to be racist, but I hope Scott loses. Because I don't want to receive another text from him saying how good he is.
Well, I'm going to make my prediction this week too. I think there's only going to be 1 3-0 team left. It's coming.
1. Okay, so you're saying Sin's going to lose.
I think Sin's going down, and I think it's going between Scotty and Terry there. So
now remember, I'm sure you said Sin was going to go down this past weekend.
True, I did. I thought he was going to go down last weekend, and he pulled it out of his ass somehow. So
yeah, and man, I gotta win somehow. You know what I mean? People look up to me for like fantasy advice. You know. And I can't get a win. You know, so yeah, hopefully I can win this week. Remember what I was telling you from week 1 when Don and Jim played and Don won. I always say bigger brother always win. You know what I mean? So hopefully that stays true. You know.
Oh yeah, this would be your time to shine then.
Good.
Hopefully.
We'll have to see. The waiver wire is kind of thin out there, Tay. What do you think? Who do you think they should be looking out for?
I don't. At this point, it's kind of hard because I think a lot of it just depends on at this point with your bye weeks. It depends on who you need.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep. You can't go for best. Yeah, you can't go for best one on the waiver wire. Yep.
You can't. I mean, at this point, you have to. I mean, if you need a quarterback, you have to go for a quarterback. You can't sit there and try to pick up that running back that could be the one or whatever it is. So, I mean, at this point, the only running back that I could really see out there, and I think that's probably one of the top picks, and he's out there right now, is DeAngelo Williams. I think he's the only guy you can really pick up at running back.
He was injured last week.
He was.
He was out last week.
He was almost going to play. And then Stewart and Tolbert are out. There's other running backs. So DeAngelo's going to be their main guy, and Tolbert usually is their third down back type goal line back, but DeAngelo might get all the carries now. So with both of them out, he's basically the only running back that you can actually really target this week. That I could even see. As far as the quarterback, it's almost matchup. I mean, you toss up at this point.
Because there's a lot out there. But I want to say, if you're desperate for a running back, Jeff, LeGarrette Blount is out there. They're playing against Tampa Bay this weekend.
Trash time. You're right. That's garbage time.
Yeah. LeGarrette Blount, he 118 yards with a touchdown. Come on, dude. So Jeff, you better make a play for running back.
That's true. I mean, that's a good thought there, because actually he got that on garbage time, and they could be in garbage time with Tampa Bay. So Blount might be the one that actually pick up too. I mean, that's pretty smart.
So I'm saying, Jeff, you better get that on. But all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and good luck next week. And remember, watch your buys, players on buys, and switch them out.
But don't be that inactive team. Don't be that inactive
team. Unless you play against me, then I don't care. But don't be that inactive team. But all right, guys. Good luck this week.
Yeah, because you need a win, so you don't care how you get it.
I'll take it. I don't care. But
you take it.
All right, everybody. Good luck next week. For Tay and I am Sam. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.